my daughter about 2 years ago wrote on this dollar bill, millionaire mama for me.
Aw.
And I just like, I keep it and I hold it because, when I first started OnlyFans, my intention was, $50 here and there gets me by. But now I am like determined to manifest this $1 million and change the trajectory for my kids.
I love that. And I'm just going to say we count ourselves as proud subscribers. And
Yes.
I'll tell everybody who's watching, go do it. It's worth every penny. So
yes, thank
great page.
you.
Welcome, fellow lushes. Come on in, pull up a bar stool, and enjoy some cocktails with Dimples and the Beard.
You win a guest, you lose a guest. You win a guest,
Oh.
take a guest.
Oh my God.
You know what I just watched the other day?
Do you know how big a loser I am besides what I'm just doing right there? I'm wearing an $8 Walmart Biggie Small shirt and I don't give a fuck.
That's phenomenal.
Well, I don't know if anybody ever noticed, but we were trying to do 50 episodes with 50 different t-shirts because we're both t-shirt freaks. And I know I ran out. So I've just
$8 it is.
yeah, you've seen plenty. I wore an $8 Ice Cube shirt. So
Yeah.
it's kind of, I wore $8.
Did you go to the gangster section of Walmart or what?
Walmart's all the gangster section, baby.
Well, what's that? Well, that's what prompted me. I just watched.
It's
I just
OG.
watched Straight Outta Compton.
Did you?
Yeah, I bought it.
Oh shit! I gotta watch that.
You never seen it?
No, I haven't seen it. I want to see that.
There she's back.
I
Our
can't
guest
believe-
is back.
I can't believe you're cooler than me. Never leave a
I
pretty
am.
lady waiting.
Cooler than you. I'm more gangster than you, I guess.
Yeah, you are. Certainly. Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I am so excited to talk with you guys. I feel like it's been forever.
It has been forever, and I apologize for the way this week went. I have plenty of drugs coursing through my body to make this one happen. But it was not happening on Friday. I can tell you that. It was bad. So
Oh, well, I'm glad you're on the mend.
but COVID free. Good. No COVID.
Oh, good.
So obviously you
Thank you.
understand I'm the tough one of the group because I would have muddled through. Pussy boy, he had to cancel.
No, it's okay. I'm like the biggest baby when it comes to being sick, so I don't mind at all. I'd rather everyone be feeling good and better. So
Awesome.
Well, we
awesome.
really appreciate that because
So let's get you introduced, Miss Sarah Juree. I came across your story. I heard it on Josh Potter's show. And I literally, without even contacting him, went, nope, I'm contacting her to see if we can,
direct.
because this is a story. This is definitely a story.
Love it.
this is a big story.
Yeah. And then I saw you on Josh's podcast on Monday, and it was fantastic. It was kind of cool to see it go full circle.
Josh is a
It
good friend
has
of ours.
been. What's that?
Josh is a good friend of ours,
Oh, he is. Oh my gosh, he's the nicest too. So
isn't he?
I think you're overplaying that a little bit.
Well, I feel
We've had him on the episode, and we were out drinking with him in Chicago once. I wouldn't say we're good friends.
we're friends.
once you've gotten drinking with someone and you got some stories, you're
Thank
friends.
you.
Yeah.
It solidified the deal.
Thank you.
So
Drank
yeah,
a lot with him.
you we did drink a lot with him. Your story hit the news when you were infamously fired as from your teaching job for
Yes.
having an OnlyFans account. And obviously that's why we wanted to talk to you, find out what went wrong and how it all went down.
Get your side of the story and let's see how this goes because that is not right.
Yeah, thank you. Because especially when this first came out and the media started picking it up and stuff, it was like such a surreal experience having articles written about you that you have no say in, or people starting to fill in the story with their own imagination, or writing the story from certain angles. So I think it's been important for me to like start speaking out and sharing my story. So
Yeah, absolutely. Were you ever contacted by anybody in the media before the story hit the media? I mean, did they ever call you and tell you, hey, this is coming out?
No, I think there might have been somebody that had tried contacting me for a comment, but you can imagine when this was all happening, I wasn't like in the best frame of mind, um to be commenting on anything.
Yeah,
So
right.
I feel like a lot better now that there's been a little bit of time to be able to have some perspective while I'm talking about what happened a couple months ago.
Yeah.
It's relatively new. Yeah, it's not like it's years ago. This is just happening.
Yeah, this did just happen. So do you want me to kind of go back and talk about why I started an OnlyFans, or how the OnlyFans page started?
Yeah, we definitely
Definitely.
want to,
Yeah,
because I kind of know the answer, but I think it's important for people to hear the answer.
right.
Yeah, so to kind of back things up a little bit, about 5 years ago, I became a single mom. And, I was living on a teacher salary and, moving out on my own into an apartment that rent was really expensive. And so as time went on, I started to try to pursue side hustles, I guess people call them, like just jobs after work that I could do to kind of supplement my income. So I tried everything. Like I even got trained on teeth whitening at a friend's salon. I started doing reading tutoring because my endorsement is in reading. I got certified in group fitness, and I started doing workouts with friends. I started coaching friends on keto, like weight loss on the side. And I purchased sublimation equipment as well and taught myself how to make shirts and mugs and tumblers.
Oh,
So
awesome.
yeah, I was doing all these jobs, and there was times that I would like go to work, teach, I would do our after school program, I would come home, I would do reading tutoring, and then I would stay up making t-shirts until bedtime. So I was like really working hard all the time.
Yeah.
But despite trying to work so hard, I like just kept getting further and further in this poverty cycle. It was like my effort wasn't enough to really get me out of the debt that I was getting in further and further.
Yeah.
So there was a friend, a local friend who's about my age. I'm 40 years old. I'm a mom. And she was like, on Facebook, she's like, hey, I just made $10,000 on OnlyFans this month.
Oh,
Jesus.
Well, like I'm entrepreneurial. I'm like,
ding, 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 ding. What's going on?
Man, I saw this post and she was like, listen, if you join up under my page, I will mentor you and I will show you how to get your page going. So not only did I sign up under her, but like a lot of people on Facebook did. And people are like promoting their pages and stuff. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna have the month of July off of work. So in my mind, I wanted to get my page set up, and then during my month off, test it out, see if it was like a legitimate way to make some side money. And if it was, then my hope was that I could sustain myself on OnlyFans, but teach because I loved it and not have a job that I loved that kept me in a poverty cycle.
Yeah, right. I mean, OnlyFans, if it can provide that kind of income, obviously that allows you to do what you really want to do, what you really love doing, and not have to worry about the fact that it is criminally underpaid position.
It is. It's the worst. And, when you think about so for me, just a little more backstory growing up, when I was 16, my dad died homeless living in a park in Phoenix.
Oh, man.
My mom was a single mom in a poverty cycle. So my whole life, like all I knew was this poverty and struggling and stuff. But I was always very smart and I was always good in school. So I was like first generation college graduate. I put myself through school. I worked, went to school. But, I chose one of the lowest paying careers for a
Yeah.
bachelor's degree. So when I became a single mom, unfortunately, just with my job, although I loved it, I only got a raise every 3 years.
Oh.
I didn't have health insurance, so I had to pay for that out of pocket as well. So there was just no, like, I felt like there was no way for me to get out of this financial situation that I was in.
Yeah, I would imagine there's probably not
Wow.
much left on a teacher salary after rent, health insurance, and car payment or something like that. You probably don't have a whole lot left over.
But what teacher don't pay you for health insurance? That's criminal. That's that.
Yeah, well, this one, because I was a contract employee for the Department of Defense.
Oh.
But no, I didn't get health insurance. So my paycheck was $1,600. My rent was $1,100, and my health insurance was $250.
Oh.
So between rent and just my health insurance, there was a whole paycheck that was gone.
Right.
That's not groceries. That's not car insurance. That's not my credit card payment, because I started getting into trouble with that.
Oh yeah.
Because
you
it was
do what you got to do.
I did, and I was doing what I had to do. And what happened was, during COVID, there was like a little bit of a relief, right? Like I got a child tax credit.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
what happened was the little bit of relief, like the child tax credit, disappeared, and then all of a sudden inflation got really bad. And it was like gas prices skyrocketed, groceries skyrocketed. So I would remember like driving up to the pump and being like, okay, Sarah, do you have enough? Can I make it to my next paycheck, or am I just going to have to put gas on a credit card?
Yeah. Oh,
just
yeah.
those kind of situations.
Yeah. And
which are taunting on yourself. I mean, that's hard to have to constantly think about that every time you do something.
Yes, every time. I mean, it got to the point like my kids, I would sob in the bathtub, and my kids would call me sad mommy.
How old are they?
They're 10. I have twins.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
Nice.
So with twins, there are no just one of anything. You've got
everything's doubled. So I couldn't even get away with like squeaking by with one kid. I had to have two.
You had to go double.
I'm an overachiever. Everything I do, I guess, is like all or nothing.
So when you thought about OnlyFans, was there any hesitation on your part?
No, because I will tell you what happened was, I started my page. I had 2 weeks off of work after school ended. I started my page, got it up and going. I had to go back to work and run 3 weeks of summer camp. So I go back, we run these 3 weeks of summer camp. My boss tells me, great job. But right before I get fired, we have this casual conversation in the office about OnlyFans. So my coworker comes in and she's like, hey, my husband went to a bachelor party in North Carolina or South Carolina. And she was like, they had a stripper there, and the stripper wanted $600 just to show up to the party.
Damn.
Thank you. That's what we all said.
Yep.
So I was like, geez. So I'm like, that's great money for
right.
But pay strippers really well. So then my coworker says, yeah, I should start an OnlyFans. And she said, but I might have my husband do it. He's like a bigger guy. She's like, I might have my husband do it because gay men love him and he can test the waters out.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm sitting here, I'm like very interested in this conversation. My boss speaks up and he's like, oh yeah, you guys should start OnlyFans pages and you should sell your panties on OnlyFans.
Wait,
my boss
your male boss told you this?
My male boss says this in this conversation.
Okay.
Well, so
did he offer to buy any?
No, but I'm charging double.
You should.
At least.
No, so he's saying like, Yeah, you can make a lot of money selling your panties on OnlyFans. Men love panties. He's going on and on. So in my mind, I'm like, awesome, great. Like, it reassured me that I wasn't, like, my job wasn't going to be at risk.
Yeah, right.
Because my boss is literally telling me to sell my panties on OnlyFans. So in my mind, I'm like, check, great. So my boss was on my Facebook page. So after we had that conversation, that was on a Friday. So I think like the next day, it's Saturday, I'm starting my month-long break. And I'm like, well, I'm like business minded. So I'm like, I'm not going to make any money if I don't have any fans. And so I start posting about my OnlyFans page on my Facebook.
Sure.
Oh, so everybody can see it.
Well, they can't see anything risque because Facebook doesn't let you. But yeah, like, in my mind, I'm like, from the business side of OnlyFans, you got to have a funnel. You have to direct people to your page.
Right.
So
yeah, nobody knows to go look for you unless you tell them. That's
right. So I've been single a long time, like 5 years. So I'm like, who bugs me all the time? Men on Facebook.
This sound familiar?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Yeah, I had like, I don't know, 600 friend requests. I just let them all in. I accepted them all and I started like sending my link out.
Hell yeah.
There you go. And that's the way to do it, actually.
Hell
that's
yeah.
Perfect.
It was exactly what I did. But that was, by doing that was when this guy in the community found out that I had an OnlyFans, and then that was when things went awry.
Yeah.
So what's the time frame from launching it? Well, let me ask you this before we go into that. When you launched it, how many fans did you get on OnlyFans right away from your hard work of your smart work?
Thank you. I think about 100.
Okay.
I think about 100 by myself. But I wasn't making, I was making like $50 a day or something. Sure. But for me, that was great because it's like steady. Anything was helpful. Like $50 fills my gas tank up. So, I didn't have any grandiose ideas about OnlyFans at the time. I just had an idea of like any income stream is helpful for me at this point.
Yeah, I need a passive income stream, and this is one that I can, not only can I do this and it'll bring income, but I could be doing another passive income stream while this one is bringing money. So
and that was the thing, like with my sublimation business, for example, I had to pay for the ink. That was like $400. I had to buy the special paper. I had to buy adhesive. And then I had to buy images for people. And then when the shipping costs got really high, a $3 shirt, by the time I had to pay $12 shipping, now it's a $15 shirt, and people don't want to pay more than $20. Right. So I'm like charging $20 a shirt and making like $2. Right. And that doesn't even include my time. Like I couldn't even pay myself. So something like OnlyFans, I'm not having to like pay for a lot of expenses up front. I can take some pictures and post them.
Yep. It's perfect.
Now, when you started, were you shy about pictures you took, or were you like, hey, this is natural, this is fun?
You know what? Like I will say, for me personally, I used to be really, really overweight. So I've lost like 80 pounds. After my divorce. Thank you. Yeah, it's been a lot of hard work.
Teach me how.
Yeah, it's not easy. That's why I want to say congratulations.
You know what? I'll do less for $20. So if you want to, I did keto coaching.
If you want me,
I'll set your macros for you.
I like it. That sounds like the best coaching ever.
I'll do it all. I'll hustle. I'm tell me what you need. I'll make you a shirt. I'll tutor your kid in reading. I'll send you a nude.
It's a one-stop shop.
Right?
It's a one-stop shop.
I like it.
So I have felt at 40 like better than I've ever felt in my whole life about my body. So I think that truthfully, it was like a really empowering thing to like finally feel sexy and beautiful, like at mid-age. And also, like, I've been single so long, and I'm not a fan of the hookup culture. Dating's been really, really hard for me. So I've actually been celibate for a long time. So what I found with OnlyFans was that this was like a safe and virtual way for me to express my sexual energy as well.
Sure.
So it kind of like lined up in a way where I was actually experiencing some really good benefits of being on OnlyFans in a personal way.
That's cool to hear. I never think of it from that side. That, yeah, I mean, you're kind of filling that void. If you're, you don't want to be out there hooking up, so you're filling that void in a different way, which is cool.
And you're changing. You change. You're, like you said, you're 40 now, so things are different now.
Yeah, like I feel a lot more comfortable, and being a single mom, I've been like very protective of my kids. I've been very thoughtful about like dating and the type of person that I would like really consider being in a relationship with. So, I think it was just, there's a lot of stigma around OnlyFans and virtual sex and what people do on that platform. But when you look at reasons that people would want to be on the platform, there's lots of like really good and valid reasons. And if we can have really healthy, honest, and transparent conversations about sex and sexuality and the place that virtual sex has in our society, there's like a really great way that virtual sex can be very helpful for people.
Oh, amen. I mean, that's true. And we've had several over OnlyFans on.
We have, yeah. Oh.
So since you launched your site, have more creeps come out of the woodwork, or more decent men come out of the woodwork asking you for dates?
You know what? I still am not dating. I don't really get asked for dates. I'm more like I think it might make dating even more challenging at this point. But I would say in general, on my OnlyFans page, the nicest, I've never met more kind men on OnlyFans. It's been like a really healing thing for me and very affirming, because there have been so many men that have been so kind and so supportive. And it's been good for me to kind of see the challenges that men have with relationships as well.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
To know that it's not just me as a woman experiencing difficulties with the online dating culture, but lots of people do it, and for lots of different reasons. So, it's been a very affirming and good experience when it comes to that. And I always say, like, maybe because I am a very kind person, and like I'm very like sweet and kind.
And you come off that way. You totally come off that way.
Thank you. I feel like I just attract those type of people. So no, I've been like very blessed with the nicest fans.
Well, not to play matchmaker, but we get to Indiana like once a summer, and this guy's single, so just saying.
Okay, where do you go in Indiana?
We're Big Dave Matthews Band.
Fun.
So we get down to Indiana for those shows. Not every summer, but
yeah,
quite a few times we've been down there.
We have a friend in Carmela.
Yeah, and Carmel.
Yeah, Carmel. That's
Carmel.
That's the fancy, like that's the affluent. Like, I don't know. I feel like I'm in a cornfield or something.
All right.
About how far from Carmel?
No. We're
2 hours.
Okay.
An hour and a half.
Oh, closer this way then.
Yeah.
I've made the trip. It's not that far.
We're up in Wisconsin.
We're in Wisconsin.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So
yes,
we share the Midwest with you. We love it.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, because I think I'm like 2 hours to Chicago or hour and a half to Chicago.
Okay.
Too.
Okay. That's where we were. That's where we went out partying with Mr. Potter. He was in Chicago. So
Well, next time I want an invite.
you got it.
You've got one.
Sure,
Absolutely.
For sure. He is definitely the coolest guy. So anyway, so now we're okay. I forgot where we were.
Yeah. So I've got the page. I've got about 100 fans.
Okay.
I'm making 50
paying
bucks
fans,
a day.
paying fans.
Yeah, they're paying. And I'm like back at work running these summer camps. My boss just tells me sell my panties. So I like take that to heart. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna ramp this up. I want to make some money in July. My hope was that in July I could match my teaching salary. So I was like, man, wouldn't that be cool if I could by the end of the month double my salary and start paying some stuff off.
Right.
So I'm starting to promote my page, and there, like, this is where it's like you couldn't write like what happens next. It's because it's so crazy, like shit gets crazy. There is, and I knew of him because this man targets teachers in the community.
Okay.
And what's his connection? What's his connection to the community? He lives in the community. Does he have anything to do with teaching?
Sure. So his connection is he used to be a reporter, but he was fired from like the reputable news stations. Okay. This is where you can tell he has this vendetta against teachers. His ex-wife is a teacher.
That'll do
so
it.
Now, yep. So now he's got this vendetta against teachers, and his goal is to get teachers fired and write crazy stories about them on his blog. So I'm at the gym working out on a Saturday, and I get this DM from him, and he's like, I am so-and-so. I'm an investigative reporter. What do you have to say about yourself? You're a teacher with an OnlyFans page. Well, when I started my OnlyFans page, it was a free page.
Okay.
And when you have a free page, you cannot post nudity on the page.
Right.
Okay. You can only sell it behind a paywall. So I was like, nothing I'm posting on my OnlyFans page was nude. Like there was literally nothing. It was very similar to my Facebook feed.
Sure. Right.
So the only way to access anything on my OnlyFans page was to have a private DM with me and purchase the pictures. So I was like, I just responded to him. I was like, wow, you sound like you've been very busy, but my OnlyFans page is clean. And I was like, that's all I have to say about this.
Yeah.
That's all you need to say.
Yeah, that's all. So he was like, I'm going to notify your employer. I'm going to write a story about you. And he actually stole dozens of my nude photos from my OnlyFans page that he ended up using. So he
wait.
So he had to pay for them to get them, and then he okay.
Yeah,
well, at least he got paid for them.
Well, not enough.
Right. Sounds like a winner.
Charge my salary, my annual salary for those.
Right.
So this is a Saturday, and by Monday, I think I'm literally fired from my job. They call me in on my, month off of work. They terminate me. And this was before he had even written the first article. So I try to kind of do some damage control, and I go and file a protective order in the courts. Well, because my hope was like maybe the courts will make him take these articles down.
Right.
Like I've already been fired, but now he's he's distributing these images of me all over Facebook. But the courts defer the court date for a month. So at that point, it was like totally out of my hands. He wrote not one article, but 5. And I had submitted my termination letter to the courts as evidence of harassment. And he took my termination letter, wrote an article about it, and hid it behind a paywall for people to pay to read my termination letter.
What?
Wow.
Yes.
What a snake.
This is a this is a guy with a lot of extra time on his hand.
Oh,
So
yeah.
So this guy,
are you able to mention his name? Because we would love to bash him.
Yeah, his name. Oh God, he has the douchiest name too. It's.
I love that you want to throw that in. I love that.
Yeah,
sounds perfect.
It's the douchiest. Clifton French. That's his name.
Yeah, that's a douche.
Clifton French, you're a douchebag.
Without even meeting him. I mean, maybe this is things that are in your future, but I gotta believe. I mean, if he's paid for these pictures and then distributed them elsewhere, obviously OnlyFans has a very tight copyright infringement policy. I gotta imagine there's something there for you.
I contacted them, but they were like, well, he's hosting these pictures on his private server.
Oh.
So like every single, I tried so hard to like figure out like what I can do. So he writes this article, and now because he is such a like so radical, clearly mentally ill, he does not have a big following. He has like 3,000 people, and even after all of this hoopla about me, like he still has the same number of followers. Like I have more paying fans on my Facebook or like on my OnlyFans.
Yeah, winning.
Yeah, sorry, Clifton. Nobody gives a shit about you.
Sorry, nobody does. So yeah, so recently, like the other day, Vice Media wrote an article about me, and my story and what happened, and I was able to talk to the journalist just like I'm talking to you guys about what happened and how humiliating this revenge porn was. And he was so mad. He was throwing a tantrum on his Twitter, and he was like, I wanted my name mentioned. And he literally said the article was about me. And I was like, it's literally about me.
Nope.
Nobody cares about you. All people know about you is that you're a douche for doing what you did to a single mom.
Yes. Yeah. Right. I mean, a single mom,
anybody,
a hardworking, hustling single mom who's doing everything to get by. And if anybody thinks you're the only teacher who has an OnlyFans account, they're pretty stupid. I'm just saying.
Is he in your community, or is he close to you?
He is in my community. Yes, unfortunately. But it's like, here's the worst part about it all. It's like, there's a type, right? And not only is he like this complete narcissist, but he has a domestic violence charge. He has a drunk driving charge. He actually just lost custody of his son. So it's like,
he hates women.
He really hates women. He has some major issue. And I did just read that he's like, as part of losing custody of his son, he has to go to counseling. And I was like, this therapist has no idea what's walking in her office.
Man,
I'd be curious to
need some therapy after him.
Right.
He needs therapy. My first thought when you mentioned it before, when has he written any articles about men? Has he bashed any men, teachers? Has he bashed any men, or is he strictly women? Only
gay people. So he really likes to target like the most marginalized population. Like, so actually a couple weeks ago, there was a gay high school band teacher that he did the same thing, something similar to. I don't know the full story because I don't follow his blog, but he tried getting this band teacher fired because the man is gay. Let's be real, why? And thankfully the high school just rehired the teacher back, and man was he mad. He was, it was like,
but that's the best thing to do
crazy
to him.
Yeah, his articles are almost 100% about teachers, but there was a Democratic sheriff in town that he tried writing an article on. I don't know, it's just like, it's too much. It's insane. I like, and the people that follow him and read his stuff is like, it's all like, I think they're insane as well, because this guy is not credentialed. He's been fired from every new reputable news station. And also, like, if you look at my story, the local news knows that he's crazy, and the local news did not pick my story up because they're not going to touch anything he writes with a 10-foot pole. However, what did happen was some other media outlets did start picking my story up.
Yeah.
So not only was it like not contained to my community, like I was just, it was like everything was like very humiliating. I've lost my job. I'm panicking. And then the next thing I know, like the New York Post is writing about me, the Daily Star in the UK. I'm on Barstool Sports. I'm on just like a variety of podcasts. And then I find out like I'm very popular in Brazil, actually.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, it's just like randomly, like on my Instagram page, like lots of Brazilians love me.
Perfect.
Well, you know, why not?
I remember when all the I'm just gonna know when all the bullshit articles came out, and I just read something about how you were making your students call you the same nickname you and I'm like, what the fuck does that even mean? Like,
yeah, he wrote that. And so what happened was I worked for a Department of Defense funded program, and we all had a teaching call sign or nickname. Okay. So my teaching name was Buttercup, and it was like the sweetest thing. Yeah. Kids would literally bring me Reese's peanut butter cups. Aww. And I'd give them points for it. It was just this like very sweet, like I just loved being called Buttercup. It was just fun. Yeah. If I go to Target and kids see me, they'll still come up and call me Buttercup. Yeah. But what happened was I just like used it as a nickname for everything. Like it was like usernames on dating profiles. And when I originally set my OnlyFans up, I used the username Buttercup. And, and I didn't like, I regret it because of the twisted and perverted way that he tried writing about it. But no, nobody on OnlyFans ever called me Buttercup. It's not a porn name. Yeah. It was, but now I'm just like so sad that he ruined that, and then ruined it and tried to portray that I brought any part of OnlyFans into that classroom. Absolutely not. Right. Absolutely not.
And I'm going to tell you, that's why I wanted to bring that up, because when I read it, I just thought it was so, it meant, I mean, it had nothing to do with the story at all. Not that there was a story, but that just made...
I sobbed when I read stuff like that, because the way he portrayed me as not being safe with kids, it is absolutely not true. Like, I am a mom. I've been a teacher for 20 years. I love kids. They're like, kids are very safe with me. Always have been, always will be. Like, I have a very special place in my heart for kids. And even with like having my OnlyFans, I went back and taught summer camp for 3 weeks. And my boss is sending me a congratulations text, and summer camps went really well and stuff. And
we have the history, 20 years of history of just great teaching.
I did run into a mom. I had taken my kids to this like park event, and her daughter was in my summer camp, and she had, seen the stories and stuff, and she like stopped me, and she said, in front of my kids too, which I think was important. And she was like, I just want you to know that I saw what was said about you. And she said, my daughter was in your summer camp, and she said she loved you. And she was like, that's all I need to know about you. And she was like, stay strong, Buttercup. We support you. And, that was really affirming, to know that every teacher has a sex life, whether people want to you
admit
think
it
about it or not. Every person that goes to work has a private sex life, and people can know when to be professional and not bring a private sex life into
100%.
a boardroom or a classroom. Like there was there was never anything that I did, no mention of OnlyFans. OnlyFans is an adult site, and that was the way he twisted that, and the perversion that he had. It broke my heart, most definitely.
Yeah, I apologize for that, but like I said, I really felt it was important because I just thought it was just such a rotten thing to do. And
yeah, everything that he's done has been a pretty disgusting, because it's like with that revenge porn, it's meant to be humiliating. And the ironic part of the whole situation is like, what he wanted to do was use my naked images as clickbait. But all it did was drive people to my page. You can't put like a decent looking blonde that nude picture on a page, and of course people are going to click, but they're not clicking it for the story. They're clicking to find out how do I get more of these pictures.
Whoa, back up. Decent looking. You're beyond decent looking. You're beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
So when they put a beautiful blonde on, like yourself, they're gonna click.
Yes, he did. And so that was when I went from like, I had 100 subscribers, and then after the media stuff, I reached 4,000 on my free page, and then recently I started a subscription page.
Yeah, good for you.
Yeah. So I, at this point in time, like I haven't really talked about this much, but I started really getting into spirituality and doing lots of affirmations. So, I would do affirmations with kids at school when we had to give, hand sanitizer to the kids before they came into the classroom. I would give them like a compliment or an affirmation so that we would start our day very positive together. And I would do this with my own kids, and I drive them to school, and we would say our morning affirmations. And my daughter about 2 years ago wrote on this dollar bill, "Millionaire Mama," for me. Aww. And I just I keep it and I hold it because, when I first started OnlyFans, my intention was, $50 here and there gets me by. But now I am like determined to manifest this $1 million and change the trajectory for my kids.
I love that. And I'm just going to say, we count ourselves as proud subscribers, and I'll tell everybody who's watching, go do it. It's worth every penny. So
yes, thank
great page.
you.
So, and let's talk about the one unique thing that you offer that I've seen different from, because obviously, we've had other OnlyFans models on, so we do our research. You offer a dick rating with a twist, and I've seen dick ratings offered by other OnlyFans, but you have done it in true teacher style. So
nice.
I have,
and this
was so fun because, I thought when I started OnlyFans, I was like, oh, I'm going to be in the MILF niche. But then when the teacher stuff happened, I was like, oh my God, this teacher fantasy is a real thing. People really have, they got this teacher, they're like hot for teacher. So absolutely. I had this fan message me, and he was like, hey, I have this insane teacher fantasy, and I would like a dick rating but he said, could you please do it in a report card? He said, I think that would be really fun. And then I was like, aha, I'm like business minded. So I was like, well, what could set my page apart from every other OnlyFans page? I'm like, oh, the novelty of a report card. Yeah. So because of the sublimation business, well, when I was doing that too, I was like dabbling in graphic design. I would like, oh, you need a logo for your business. I knock one up. So $20.
Can I get a dick rating t-shirt?
Yeah.
Wait, yours or
get
just
my dick rated and then put it on a t-shirt?
Yeah, put the report card on there. I passed.
What better advertising?
Well, that's true.
Honor roll. Or something like my child's on the honor roll. My dick's on the honor roll. My dick
and you can just make them. You can just make them.
That's a t-shirt all out of town. My dick's on the honor roll.
All right. Before we forget, and I partially forgot, the parent that met you in the playground said, "Stay tough, got Buttercup," or what? I'm sorry.
She said, "Stay strong, Buttercup." Yeah.
There's a t-shirt.
Stay strong.
Stay
Buttercup.
strong, Buttercup.
Yeah.
You could print them and you could sell that. Stay strong, Buttercup.
Stay strong, Buttercup. Yep, she did say that.
I think that's a great t-shirt right there.
I think we have two opposite ends of the spectrum on intellect. From what I'm hearing, that whoever the fan was who suggested the dick rating report card, pure genius. Clifton French, pure douchebag. So we've represented both sides. I don't know who that man is who suggested the report card, but if he's watching, amen to you.
Yes, and thank you, because that was like a brilliant suggestion.
It was brilliant.
Yeah, it was fun. And I had some fun mocking it up, and it's fun to make and have a little, because at a certain point, like the whole experience was completely it was devastating. The whole thing was devastating. But at a certain point, I was like, okay, Sarah, like one of two things is gonna happen. Like you're either never gonna get off of this couch again and like never want to like show your face in public, or you're just gonna have to embrace what happened and make the best of it and use your voice and advocate for things. And clearly my story has triggered a lot of people, and so when people are triggered, that shows that there's a lot of healing that needs to happen around conversations. Like sex is a very triggering thing for people. People have lots of issues around sex. So that shows me like I need to keep talking about this. I need to keep advocating for virtual sex and advocating for teacher pay. Like I can use my voice now to talk about really important things. And at a certain point, I was just realized that I can either stay devastated or I can just kind of embrace what's happened. And I am a very like playful and fun person. So that's why I'm like, okay, well, you know what? Let's have fun with it. And as a single woman, like I have seen my share of dick pics. Like I've been on dating sites a long time. So for me, it's like, this is a way to like be more empowered with it and just like have fun with it, be playful about it,
Yeah. Again, anybody who has issues with what people do to make a little money on the side, as long as you're not hurting anybody else and you're, I mean, it's fun,
It was like consensual. It was virtual. It was all private. I wasn't posting anything like now on my subscription page, everything gets posted to the wall and stuff. But no, everything was very, like, I feel discreet, and nobody was going to see it unless they were on my page. So right. I guess like, if you don't want to see it, you shouldn't have been on there.
Yeah.
That's the number one rule right there. If you don't want to see it,
isn't that
then don't go.
That's right.
So what, I think I can answer this, but so what got you off the couch when all this came down? It's pretty devastating, and you lost your job. What kept you going? What got you off that couch?
I think like I just have to, even all these years being a single mom, like I gotta hold it down for my kids no matter what, like I gotta figure stuff out just like I've been doing. So, you know, even in this experience in life, I am still having to model and try to navigate my way through this as clear-minded and as with as much grace as I can muster for my children, because my children are watching, and they're watching me talk about some very important conversations. And also, what do you do when you've been bullied the way that I have been? How do you stand up for yourself? How do you get back up and face things? It's like the resiliency that I've had to have inside of me my whole life, because my whole life I've been an underdog. My whole life I've had to rebound from rock bottom. You know, this was a new rock bottom. I didn't, you know, I thought I've already been at rock bottom, but you know, it's like, how do you rebuild your life? And when I got my divorce, I had two promises to myself that when I rebuild my life, I will rebuild my life and become my most beautiful self. And I want to build my most beautiful life for myself. And I maintain those two things. And I feel like, you know, with that first media cycle, I did very well on OnlyFans financially in July. And I feel like it's driving me harder because I see this as an opportunity that if I use this media opportunity to my advantage, I can potentially change my life. And I don't have grandiose ideas of like buying a Lamborghini. I just like want to create some investments accounts for my kids, and I want to be able to give them some financial stability that I never had, and I want them to be very proud of me.
Well, I believe they are. They have to be.
I am curious. Did your kids find out because this guy? I mean, I assume it would have stayed private, but this guy outed you, and now you're stuck in the situation where, I mean, they're going to hear about it, so I have to talk to them about it.
Yes. So, I will tell you personally, the most devastating part of the whole story was when I started at Starbase. My kids were in preschool, and I taught fifth graders during the school year. And this school year, my twins entered fifth grade. And I had been working with their principal to bring their school to Starbase. And my kids were going to come to Starbase and be in mommy's classroom.
Oh.
And it was the only thing we've talked about for a year. You know, you're going to be in fifth grade. I'm working with your principal. I'm going to bring your whole class. And so when I saw my kids a couple weeks after everything had happened, thankfully they were out of the state. They were on a vacation. That telling them that mommy was fired and that you're not going to be able to come and be in mommy's classroom, that really broke my heart. And so in the beginning, I just told them that I am now like a model, just like, you know, people are on Instagram and they do modeling, and that's how they get paid for like being viral. And that seemed to like, you know, quell any additional questions at the time.
Yeah.
Sure.
Good.
So without getting into it too deep, how's it gone with your ex-husband? Supportive, or is he being a dick?
I
don't know how else to say it.
Yeah. He like has been kind of supportive, but also not like doesn't ask me too much about it. I just let him know like when things come up. And I think he thought that I was gonna like stop OnlyFans maybe and go and like get a more traditional job. But at this point in time, I feel like I want to see where this opportunity can take me.
Oh, you gotta ride this wave.
Absolutely.
You gotta ride this wave.
It's kind of like, well, all of this happened, and now, you know, why would I not try to take advantage financially of everything that's happened to me and try to turn the situation around for something positive and good for myself. So
yeah, 100%.
Well, positive for you and your family, and obviously positive for just the subject of you talking about it.
yes, and I think at a certain point I was like, the only thing I really have left is my voice. And
which is very sexy, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Think about getting
are you flirting with me?
Go look at the page. I'm sure you could do something with that voice. I'm just saying.
That's right.
The whole time we're talking, I apologize. The whole time we're talking, I'm like, she's got to be able to do something with that voice. That's an extremely sexy voice.
I'm sure she would say
well, I will lend my voice. If someone wants to hire me, I'll do voice work. You just let me know.
There you go. There you go.
And maybe a little bit.
Oh, so what? You got this one flustered now. So what is next? Where do we go from next? Obviously, you're doing everything you can to get this thing out there.
I am. Yeah. So what happened was I took the majority of my money. Well, when I got terminated, oh my gosh, it was like that boss that fired me. My boss's boss was like, like I never felt so shamed in my life. And he said to me, just so you know, if any future employer ever calls us, the only thing that we'll be able to tell them are your dates of employment. And I said to him, I will never need this offer because I will only work for myself from now on. So I took the majority of the money I earned in July. I set up an LLC. I hired some business consultants, and then I used the majority of my money towards a PR firm. So the PR firm is who has helped me get into the Vice media. And I think last week I sent some documents to Fox News because my hope is to take my story and try to get into the mainstream media and make it even bigger because you know, when I think about like people on OnlyFans, you know, the girl from the Dr. Phil show, the Cash Me Out.
Yeah.
She makes $40 million on. It's crazy. So I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, when people know about you, when you have a certain level of fame, people become curious and they'll go and join your page. So for me, it's kind of exploring the media options and seeing what I can do from the PR point of view, and also take opportunities for me to share my story from my point of view so that people aren't writing the narratives for me.
Yeah, I want to say, personally, obviously, financially, this is something you need to do for you. But I feel like you're not just doing it for you. There are this story needs to be told so that there aren't other single moms doing whatever for profession, being let go because they're doing something on their private time to try and supplement, like I said before, a criminally low income level. So
yes, and you know, that was one of the things I said during my termination. I was like, I have not done anything illegal.
Right.
You know, I'm sorry, but if you have to pay taxes on a job, then I don't feel like anybody should be able to say anything. Like it's a legitimate job. The government's getting their share of my money. So you know, and also like I do feel like there is this line between someone's private life and their work life, and I don't feel like it's your employer's business what you're doing off the clock. If you're not harming anyone, I'm not doing anything illegal. It's private. It's not your business what I'm doing in my sex life. And furthermore, as a single woman who's celibate, it's really crazy to me that people would have been okay with me having a revolving door of men in my bedroom, having sex in real life. You know, and people are all up in arms about the abortion thing. You know, I'm not like, nobody's getting pregnant on virtual sex. No diseases are being spread. I honestly feel like I was being most responsible with my sexual energy participating in virtual sex.
Sure.
But I guess for me, I'm like, oh, really? So if I was on the dating sites and being used for hookups and one night stands, which I have been many times in the past, everyone's okay with that.
Yeah.
Everyone's okay with women being used as consumables on dating sites and men manipulating women on dating sites when they only have the intention to sleep with you. That's okay. Sending dick pics to women, that's okay. Men aren't losing their jobs because of dick pics ever. That's not considered pornography. But my body, because it's female, this is wrong, this is shameful, and this is pornography. It's wrong, and it's a complete double standard. And I've never heard of one man losing their job because of dick pics. Like, if that was the case, the amount of
fired.
I'd have been fired a long time ago.
Every man would be fired, and women would be ruling the world because
you can't send dick pics.
You already should
my
be.
share of them.
I'm curious, what, if you can say, what was the actual reason for termination they gave you?
Well, you know, that's interesting because he was like sitting there with the employee handbook.
Yeah, good
good
question.
But he didn't open it up to anything and point to anything specific. All I was told was that the board, he took this to the board members. The board members voted to terminate my employment. And what he wrote, which was posted on that termination letter, was basically that I had posted inappropriate pictures, and that this is a danger to the program, that they may lose funding and housing of the program over this. But it's interesting because when I was working at that military facility, I was sexually harassed all the time for years there.
I would imagine, yeah.
I was, and I had a soldier that stalked and harassed me. I had to get a protective order against him. I had a general who touched my ass during a photo op. I had the technology guy that would stare over the balcony at myself and the children when we did rockets in the hallway.
Ooh.
All documented and completely fine as long as I stayed silent about the sexual harassment at work. But the moment that I take my sexuality and use it in a way to empower myself and find a way to benefit financially, everyone's up in arms. This is a disaster. She's immoral, and I lose my job.
So yeah, so basically, I mean, what I picture is somebody with a lot of money and no ability to be offended at all, found out about it because you said the word funding, and as soon as you said the word funding, I'm like, it always comes down to money.
It does come down.
So somebody who does funding for the place was like, we're not going to have this, and that's where it comes from, and that's sad.
It could have been, but I mean, let's be real. Like with the military, if they had used this to their advantage, I probably could have made that $1 million.
Right, there you go.
I would have made that $1 million facility because the way those men are, they cannot control themselves, and the sexual harassment that I endured all those years. I'm like, okay, let's be real. Let's stop with the games, And even if you think about like my boss, so he's telling me to sell my panties on OnlyFans. Right there, you could look at that as sexual harassment.
Yeah,
he would tell us all the time when teachers would bring their classes, which teachers he was sexually attracted to. One of them was a nun.
Wait, what? I'm sorry. Whoa,
Yes.
What?
Yes,
I'm not in HR, but I can guarantee that's a violation.
Yeah. This is a crazy story. So he would tell us which teachers he was sexually attracted to.
Why?
One of them was a nun. And I haven't told this story. This is a funny story.
Exclusive.
It is exclusive. So the nun brings her class, and later in the school year, we have an after school program at the school, the Catholic school. So he's telling us like he loves this nun. This nun is hot, this and that.
What?
So
we
the
all have our own
nun
fantasies.
people, hey, I've been on OnlyFans long enough to know that everyone's got a kink.
I was gonna say nun porn, I'm sure is popular. Right?
I'm sure it is, especially if you like grew up in the Catholic Church,
Yeah.
whatever.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So the nun volunteers for the program, and the nun comes in one day with a rat on her neck, and like it's a class rat. And I know that it's crazy. So she has the rat on her neck, and talking about the rat, and she says to my boss, she's like, sometimes my skin breaks out when I let the rat walk on my neck. And we leave the program, and my boss was like, that's it. That ruined the nun fantasy for me.
Oh, I thought you were going to go the other way. I thought he was like, I'm really in there now.
I did too.
No. He was like, no, that's it. The rat fan. No, but this was like this was a very common part of working there, where I was like, so no, I did not think I was going to get fired when that was like, I have, when he's telling me the teachers he's attracted to. And
yeah.
So that goes back to just the working environment. You get comfortable with the other people you work with. Mm-hmm. So you start talking about, and obviously who you find sexually attractive comes up, but wow.
It was weird. It was, and it was one of those things, like, we were a very small staff. So it was like myself, another
teacher. Are you
teacher,
talking about the principal again? A very small staff?
My boss, yeah. It was just the three of us.
Staff.
Very small. Well, I wouldn't know.
D-.
Go ahead.
No, but I did do my own dick rating report card for the blogger, though. I saved it on my phone. I was so mad. I was like, I'm gonna go rate his dick, and he's gonna fail. And he
the only problem with that is he comes back next year.
Oh God!
You want to get D-, move that dick on.
Somebody else's problem.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. He's always somebody's problem.
I would imagine he's moved on. I would imagine he's found some more people to.
So has a dick rating? Were you doing it's so new. It seems like it was so new with your starting out, obviously without the free and no nudity.
Yeah.
To now, it's expanding. So obviously your site is expanded, and you're doing so much more.
Yeah.
So much more things. When you started out, were you selling panties, and are you doing it now?
I just had some help creating like a tip board so that I can kind of get a handle on like, what do I charge and how do I manage this and stuff. So I have kind of been paying like some people to help consult with on how to grow my page and what other people are doing on their page to earn income and stuff. So I have had people ask for the panties. I have yet to sell a pair. I just haven't done it. Like, I gotta buy the mailer. I don't know. Like, I feel like I gotta get organized on this. But somebody asked me today, they said, would you sell your panties to someone in Australia? I said, listen, if you pay for shipping, I'll send them anywhere.
Oh, 100%. Yes. They pay for shipping every time. You got to do
every time.
Oh
yeah, yes. I'm not playing that game.
All right. So yeah, we've had people on the site that they'll sell panties and they charge wear it for an hour, wear it for a day, wear it for 3 days. You need to get into that whole thing.
I do.
And then you throw
and my boss told me to. So like he knew that was his business. That was the last piece of business advice. So yeah.
All right.
$1 million panties. That's what.
Well, as an early connoisseur in the panty buying business, I can say it's it's definitely so. I bought panties 20 years ago, I bet. Right when the internet was becoming a thing and there was chat rooms. And so
and women were hustling then. They knew.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. It's always been a thing. It'll always be a thing. And if you want, go check out our friend. She runs a Instagram page called Slutrepreneur, like the word slutrepreneur.
Yeah.
And she's all about selling. I mean, she sells her toenails, she sells her socks, she sells everything.
And when he says everything.
And yeah, we had her on the podcast over a year ago now. And she's a sweetheart. Her name's Anna D. And she goes by Slutrepreneur. She wrote like a book on doing all this stuff. She's great.
Well, I wanna read about it. I am still looking for the feet people though. Like I always heard the feet thing was huge, and I just haven't found anyone. So
you have nice feet?
Of course I have nice. I have nice everything.
You do have nice everything. You do. I know. I'm on the page. I'm not.
We had the other OnlyFans that she got paid to squish like cake between her toes.
She did.
People paid extra dollars to squish fruit and cake and things between her toes, and they paid for her to video it so she would buy a cake. And I'm telling you,
men are so disgusting.
People have their kinks. You said it.
They do. But you know what? I will say this, like, OnlyFans is a really safe place for people to explore their kinks, explore their sexuality. And when I talk about like my fans on my page, there's a lot of reasons people are on that page. Like it's mostly people looking for connection. And, there's a man on my page who is a widow and he's not ready to date yet, and so OnlyFans helps to fill a void there, a sexual need. It just because your spouse died doesn't mean you don't have sexual needs. And there's a myriad of reasons that people are on the page, and it's a good and healthy space to have for people to be able to go and explore things. The only thing I haven't gotten into is when people ask like to be mean.
Oh,
that's
how would you do with that? How would you do with that?
You can't do the dominatrix teacher.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think that would be so hard for me. Like I probably am better for like someone with a praise kink, like people who like, like a very sweet person. They like to feel good. And but that is hard for me because I've had some people that are like, be mean. I'm like, I just say, listen, there's a lot of content makers that would love to do that.
Right. And they're good at it.
And they that's exciting for them. So that is one thing I do value being a content maker is like, I get to do what I feel comfortable with. I get to, and the other big thing about OnlyFans that I think is really important for people to know is everything is consensual. Like I don't do anything that I don't want to do. I don't do anything I'm not comfortable with. And men are very respectful when they ask as well. Like they will say, do you feel comfortable doing this? And then I either get to say yes or no. So
perfect.
I do feel like it's a really good, healthy way of demonstrating that concept of consent and that everybody is a consensual and willing party participating.
Absolutely.
See, and I 100% now would ask you to
subscribe to our page.
Well, no, I do, but to ask you to be mean to me just so I could watch that beautiful smile in your voice. Try to be mean and knowing you can't.
It would, I would. That's really hard. That would be really hard. I think it would be even hard for me to like pretend or to do it because I think just because I've had so much trauma in my life and I just don't have the heart to hurt people. I've been hurt so much. So I'm just kind of like in my mind, I'm like, oh my God, this person has some sort of trauma. I can't, I can't do that to them. I'd much rather say something nice and positive and be a listening ear or something.
So I have to ask the obvious question. What's the worst dick that you gave an A to? Like, so you had, if you're not being mean, you had to have seen one that you were like, oh, what do I do with this? Oh, A.
No,
I A to everything.
No, I do not give A's to everything. I'm more like the teacher who like, if it's a really good, then I'll give you like the pluses and the smileys and the stars and stuff, you know. But I haven't seen anything where I was like, they all kind of are very similar.
Right? Yeah.
They're all like basically the same. Some you're like, oh, okay. But there have been men that have said to me, actually, I think yesterday, where the man was like, listen, I have like so much shame around my dick and the size of it. And he's like, I'm really self-conscious about it. And, you know, it brings like a lot of awareness to this whole body shaming culture that we have, where women are constantly feeling body shamed. Like, even with me being in the media, I've been called fat and body shamed. And you know, but it makes me more aware and empathetic that men have the same issue in different ways. And you know, one of the things that I always say is, everyone has a story that would break your heart. You know, if you sit down, if you get to know someone, where they've come from, all the different things that they've overcome, you know, we all have our stories, we all have our struggles. So I think for me, especially going through what I went through the last couple months, I think I just have a lot of empathy, especially when people share things like that.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like the world is harsh enough. Lots of people are suffering silently. Lots of people are going through different things, traumas and grief and insecurities and other devastations, losses. I just feel like I want to represent hope for people. I want to represent kindness, and I want my page to reflect that and who I am. And I do occasionally post different things about mental health as well on my page, especially mental health with men, because men do suffer silently. We don't give men enough opportunities to talk about their feelings and to share their mental health struggles. And so I think men feel very isolated, very lonely. And I do believe that a lot of men, you know, they may not want to or be ready to reach out for like professional therapy, but they do reach out on OnlyFans and they do tell me different things in the DMs. And I do keep those conversations very confidential. But lots of people, you know, they'll share their mental health struggles with me. So I do take that to heart, that they have found a safe space on my page to do so.
I think you hit it on the head right there. Oh my God, that really hit home. That wraps it up right there.
Yeah, I feel like people who need that have and stumbled upon your page, have stumbled upon what they need. I gotta tell you, you know, when we start talking about doing this, I thought it'd be a lot of talks about, you know, boob pictures and that kind of stuff, and that's great, but this turned into such a
more than that,
a fantastic episode, and
getting to know you has been terrific.
Yeah,
thank you.
And I hope you'll, you know, as you are ascending that $1 million ladder, you'll remember us and come back and tell us the rest of the story. Because
I plan on drinking with you guys.
Awesome.
There you go.
We absolutely love talking to you. This was so much fun.
And if I ever move to Indianapolis, I'm going to ask her out.
There you go.
You should. I'm only a couple hours away. So
there you go.
No, I do appreciate you guys. And you were one of the very, very first podcasts to reach out to me when the everything was happening. And then I lost my Instagram page. Yep. They shut me down.
Hell.
Yeah, someone probably reported me. I was like in the news and stuff, but I got it back, and then we were able to reconnect. And
I know. I love it.
Yeah, I've been waiting months and months to chat with you guys, so I appreciate you.
I do have to ask, were you ever on, did you ever talk to the guys from the King, the Wing, and the Sting? Because I know when it first hit, they were trying to get in touch with you.
They did, and sorry, my phone was almost died.
Oh, that's
no,
right.
I didn't, because at the time I was talking to a lawyer, and the lawyer had advised me not to do the show. And I feel like that was horrible advice.
Yes.
I absolutely should have done the show.
Well, I would reach out to Potter and tell Potter to talk to. I'm sure they'd be thrilled that, you know, like if they wanted you then.
I'm hoping so. I had that article run in Vice, and I messaged the producer on Friday. So, you know, my hope is, I'm
Awesome.
just, you know, I'm kind of like, no opportunity is lost. The right opportunities are going to come back around for me, and they're going to be bigger and better. So I just keep maintaining that and putting my intentions out there. And like you said, like, you know, it's important for me to be able to speak up for myself, because I'm not just a body. I'm not just my OnlyFans page. Like, I'm a woman with like a big heart and soul, and I want to use this opportunity to do really great and beautiful and healing things.
I love it.
I feel you spent the time with us showing us that.
Yeah, you have obvious passion. Anybody who watches this knows there was emotion. And
I'm very proud of this one.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This is one of my favorites. Thank you so much.
So we want, please promote.
Yeah, promote away.
Your Instagram, your Twitter, your OnlyFans, all of it.
So I have sort of redone my my handle, and everything is love_Miss Sarah with an H. If you want the best of value, go to my subscription page, because you get all my content free, and then you get guaranteed DM messages and everything. But that's my handle across all my socials as well. And you know, I'm a little extra, so I gotta have the H, but love_Miss Sarah _unlocked is my OnlyFans page.
Awesome. And we will go look down here. It's down there. We will put it in the links, and people go check it out. Like I said earlier in the show, go subscribe. Worth every penny.
Every penny.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Have a great night.
Thank you
so much.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. The tavern is closed for now, but we'd love to have you back for more fun next time. Seriously though, get your asses out of here.